Welcome to the weekly We Are LA Tech remix episode.
I'm Alex Bloomberg, host of the podcast Startup, and you're listening to We Are LA Tech.
My name is Esprit Devora, born and raised LA, and I created We Are LA Tech in 2012 to unify the community. Podcast launched in 2014, continuing to help people find the best talent, to connect with each other, to form awesome relationships. So proud of this show. Enjoy.
This is Lex Euler, founder and CEO of Peachy. We help improve the patient experience of healthcare payments. I am based in Los Feliz. Yeah, so I've worked in early stage startups for 10 years now, usually as the first design hire. So I've been around it. I've been in product discussion meetings. I've worked directly with CEOs, CTOs, founders of companies really closely. Did I have any idea what I was doing here? Absolutely not. But nobody does. And as soon as I realized that, it was just like game over. I was like, oh, this person's been doing it for 22 years. They have no idea what they're doing. So if all we're doing is everyone's waking up every day saying, I don't know what I'm doing, and then you just figure it out, then it's like, I don't know, it didn't feel as daunting anymore. And there's still stuff that like, some days I'm like, I was not cut out for this. The first person I had to let go, the first time I had to fire someone, I almost shut down the company. I was just like, I would simply rather shut down a company with like, at that point, like $1.7 million still in the bank. I'm like, we're closing up shop. I can't do it. I can't do this phone call. And then I realized that's actually the point of raising money is those are the people you call. Those are the people that I took my phone out and I called my investors. I have like 3 of them that when things are like really hard and I need someone to tell me like, you can do it. They're also operators. And so they've been through it and they talked to me through exactly what to do. And one of them was really mean. I'll never forget it. He was like, you need to do it today. And I was like, bro, I can't do it today. I got to think about it. And he was like, no. Hire fast, fire fast. And I was like, bro, I can't do it. Like, I got to try. I was like, I got to give it a few weeks. Like, I'm going to try to pull it together. I'm going to rein it in. And he said, did I invest in a side hustle or a venture-backed tech company? And he goes, it's fine. I'm not mad about it either way, but I'm not giving you any more of my time. If it's the former, I have too many other founders that are taking this seriously. And it was exactly what I needed to hear. And I was like, you're right. I'm trying to put this person, their needs and wants and whatever ahead of like the company as a whole. And that once I realized that's not what we're doing here, it changed everything.
So you mean really mean in a good way?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it
really
would work
direct.
It was really direct. It was, I cried.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want more than like 2 of those people on my cap table. But I called that person specifically. And I'll never forget when I pitched that person the first time, I hung up the phone and I looked at my kid's dad and I was like, I want that guy on my cap table. He will push me to be the best. And that's exactly when I call that person, it's because I've like plateaued at something and I need someone to tell me like, hey, no, you have to do more. You have to do better. And so I'm always happy to have like 1 or 2 like kind of mean people.
Hi, this is Lauren Wong, founder and CEO of The Flex Company. We're creating a more comfortable period for everyone. And I'm coming to you from Topanga. Yeah, my co-founder, who is now my husband, he's on our board, but we don't work together full time anymore. He told me in the early days just to get started. Like back when we were friends, he was working in venture capital and totally unrelated. He wouldn't invest in my type of company, but he seemed really smart and I knew nothing about fundraising. And so I was like, what is LTV? What is cost of acquisition? Like I didn't know any of the words. And I was always waiting to be, trying. And he's like, just go, just start, just get to work. Don't create a perfect strategy. Don't need a business plan. Like you do to some extent, but just literally go out and get started. And that's where like going to those events and having a little booth and doing things manually, going to sororities. In the end, like, did those things get me on the front page of TechCrunch? Absolutely not. But it was like all those micro meetings that over time led to you and I meeting, for example. You know what I mean?
100%, 100%. And what LA Tech resources do you recommend we check out? Are there accelerators, mentorship programs, events? What do you recommend that we plug into?
I recommend anyone follow Jessie Draper of Halogen if you don't follow her already. She's one of our investors, and any event that she goes to, anything that she speaks at, any of her blogs that she writes, like she's LA local, 100% follow her. And then Amplify LA was one of our earliest investors, and they're phenomenal. They've been really supportive to us. They've connected us to other investors. They also host local events. So it's amplify.la.
If somebody were to land in Los Angeles right now, like at the LAX, Burbank, one of the airports, specifically for LA Tech, what would you recommend is the first thing that they do in order to integrate into what we have going on in the city?
This is going to sound really cliche. Maybe it's because I was there at an investor meetup last night, but probably go to the Bungalow. I think if you go to the Bungalow in Santa Monica on like a random Tuesday night, which I don't because I have an infant, but I went last night for a meetup, and I ran into one of my investors. I ran into so many amazing women who are in finance, who are LPs and GPs, and just made a lot of really amazing connections in an hour. So I think it's a good spot to kind of walk up to a random person on a weeknight. Probably don't go on a Saturday or Friday, but on a random weeknight, you're going to meet some good people there.
How do you find your meetups and your events? Is it through your personal network, or did you see it pop up somewhere? What can we plug into so that we could be informed on the events going on as well?
It was through my personal network, which is not really a great answer.
No, it's a true answer. It's honest, and that's okay. Yeah.
I moved to San Francisco. I moved to LA from San Francisco maybe 4 years ago, and I knew nobody here. And so I kind of very, very slowly built my network manually, and it just took getting out there and being brave. I'm naturally introverted, and I said yes to any event that anyone invited me to. And my husband always says, like, I never want to go, but when I come back, I always am glad that I did, because I meet somebody new and or somebody cool.
Hi, I'm Tatiana Mulry, general partner and co-founder of Steamwork Ventures, a Series C to Series A venture firm based in Culver City. I feel like you deliver some heavy advice just earlier in this podcast with your mom's recommendation.
You're trying to beat my mom.
I wish I had known that. Yeah, man, your mom was pretty wise. Now I'm going to have to come up with my own advice. Really check in with everyone. I would say a lot of times we don't really care, we try to push our own agenda through without asking what someone else wants the outcome to be, without understanding their thoughts and feelings about it, because we have an objective and we don't really check in with our coworkers, with collaborators, and see this problem from all the different perspectives. When I learned to do that, it changed everything for me in my career. I remember having a letter from a woman who was temping for me at MasterCard, telling me that I was a good manager, I was very smart, but I was cold. And I still remember that 20 something years later. And I was like, cold? That's the last thing
There's
I would
nothing
want to be
cold about
known
you.
as. But in the environment where I felt like I had to constrain myself, I had to be a certain way, I had to act a certain way, I could see how she felt that way. But I wish I knew that before she left, right? So after that letter, I remember just thinking, wow, I really have to start spending time that I thought was a waste of time at first, maybe really trying to understand other people's perspectives before making decisions and have them be a part of the solution building to gain buy-in. That wasn't obvious to me. Our school system teaches us to be individual contributors and get good grades and do things on our own. It doesn't teach us how to interact with a team. And I think learning to check in with others was the biggest lesson I learned.
So why Los Angeles? Are you from LA?
So I grew up in New York, but I came out to LA in 2007 to work for one of the first VC-funded startups before there was anything but weeds and Playa Vista. And so it was love at first sight, love the weather, love the people. And it's been so cool to see all the progress in the tech scene over the last 14 years.
What resources in LA would you recommend people check out? Does anything come to mind?
Well, I'm kind of biased. So I'm the co-director for Founders Boost LA, a pre-accelerator program that's no fee, no equity. And we help founders from mostly underrepresented backgrounds really understand the VC and accelerator landscape or accelerate their revenue. It's mentor driven, and we launch some amazing companies and send them off to many of the top accelerators. And now it's so cool to see them, starting their seed raises. And one of the companies that went through predecessor program when it was called Startup Next, just got sold to Instacart for $350 million. That's Caper.ai. And that's not too shabby. So we're really excited to see some of our graduates really come through their full paces and start to have these amazing exits. So we're really happy with the work so far, and it's so great.
Join thousands of people in LA Tech on our We Are LA Tech Facebook group, where you can discover events, job opportunities, and even housing. Go to wearelatech.com/community. We'll take you straight there. That's wearelatech.com/community.
The best business resource I have is my mentor's private Facebook group. I've never found a community that cares more about one another's success. It inspired me to create the same thing for podcasters. If you're a tech company or startup looking to grow your podcast audience, I created getpodcastlisteners.com, a private group specifically to discover how other podcasters have grown their audiences, so we could do the same. Check out getpodcastlisteners.com. That's getpodcastlisteners.com.
The We Are LA Tech podcast is hosted and produced by me, Esprit Devora.
With help from Janice Geronimo.
Edited by Corey Jennings.
Production and voiceover by Adam Carroll.
Music from Jay Huffman Live and Epidemic Sound. The We Are LA Tech podcast is a wearetech.fm production.